Hello and welcome to part 1 of this series. We will be covering how to make this animation over the course of 2 tutorials. This tutorial focuses on modeling the objects we need, and the next will focus on the animation and shading. The next part will be out soon, so stay tuned. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is just delete the default cube, and we're going to add in a cylinder. Go into front view, and I'm just going to scale this up on the z-axis, something like that will work great for a paint can. Okay, now what we're going to do is add 3 loop cuts, so just use the scroll wheel, and then right click, and then left click and then right click, and then we're going to scale it down on the z-axis, and then bring it up on the z-axis, something like that. Now what we can do is go into edge select with 2, and we're just going to select these 3 edge loops and hit Ctrl B, and then make it so there's 2 segments. Now just select that inner loop for all 3 of them, and we're going to hit period and change the pivot point to individual origins, and that'll make these so they don't scale in towards each other, they just scale in towards the middle. You could also just use medium point and use S and then Shift C. That'll work just fine for us. Scale them in like that, and then we're going to shade this smooth and then turn on auto smooth. Next, we're going to add a subdivision surface modifier. You can see we have some big problems at the top and bottom. To fix that, go into edge or face select with 3, and then we're just going to select the top and bottom face and hit Shift E, and then just drag. And that'll just add a crease to the top and bottom edges. And when we check use creases here, it will ignore those and it won't subdivide them. Okay, next thing we're going to do is just turn up subdivisions. And then I'm just going to hide this for now because we don't need it. Okay, next we're going to work on the top. So select this top face, and then we're going to hit I, and just move that in a small bit. Then we're going to hit I to inset again, and then I a third time. Now keep this center face selected and use Alt, Shift, and click on this. So we have these 2 rings of faces selected, and we're just going to hit E and just extrude them down. And I'm just going to delete this middle face. Now that we have a paint can, we're going to work on the paint drip. It's going to go down the side, so add a plane. We're going to rotate it on the x-axis 90 degrees, and then bring it out in front. Make sure we're doing this in edit mode so that the origin stays at the middle. Okay, now we're just going to scale this down on the x-axis, and scale up on the z-axis. We're going to give it 2 modifiers. First is subdivision surface, and then is shrink wrap. Let's turn up the subdivision surface to 2 on both, and we're going to set the target for the shrink wrap to this paint can. And then we're going to change the mode to project and check the y-axis. Time to add some loop cuts. So tab into our paint object, and we're just going to add a loop cut for each indent on the paint can, and that's just going to make it so there's more geometry for it to work with. Now let's add one at the top, something like that. And then one at the bottom as well. And then let's add just a few more to evenly space our loop cuts. Okay, now what we're going to do is select this bottom face and hit O for proportional editing. And then we're just going to scale this down on the x-axis. And we can use the scroll wheel to make that bigger. Something like this. Now go into vertex select with 1, and we're going to double tap A to deselect everything. And then we're going to search for select, or search for random, and this first one, select random. And then we can just use turn off proportional editing with O, and we're just going to adjust this. I'm actually going to deselect this top one because we don't need that. And we can just kind of make it a little bit more interesting that way. And then we're going to turn on a solidify and set it to a negative value so we can see what we're doing better. And I think this whole thing kind of has to scale itself down just a small bit. And then we can just kind of start manually moving around vertices if we need to. Okay, I'm saying this is a pretty good paint splatter. The only thing that's missing is this. We need this little droplet at the bottom to kind of get bigger again after it gets smaller. So just make this loop cut here a little bit smaller, and it'll feel more like a paint drop. Okay, now we're going to apply the subdivision and the shrink wrap. And then we can hide this solidify, and let's select this top edge loop using Alt click, and we're just going to bring it up to the top of this paint can and use SZ0 to scale it down flat on the Z-axis. Now we can extrude this, so EY, EZ, EY again, EZ, EY. Looks like we didn't quite get it high enough here, so we can just use Alt-Shift-Click and just select that edge loop as well and just bring that up. Now just Alt-click this outer edge loop here, EZ, and then EY. Okay, now we can unhide this solidify modifier, and then we're also going to add a subdivision surface modifier and shade it smooth. It feels like we might need some more geometry up here, so I'm going to hide the solidify again, and I'm just going to add some loop cuts to all these places. Great. Now that we're done with that, we're just going to add the handle. So let's add a cylinder, rotate it 90 degrees on the y-axis, and just bring it out here and scale it way down. Now we can add in a mirror and choose the mirror object to be this paint bucket. Okay, now let's just fine tune this. I'm just going to scale them up and then scale them down on the x-axis. Maybe scale them up a little bit more. Okay, once you have that done, we're just going to apply rotation and scale. And then we're going to shade these smooth, and we are going to add in a bevel modifier. And we're going to set this bevel modifier to angle limit and then 5 segments. Now we're going to select this front face using 3 for face select, I to inset, and then GY or GX to bring it out. Now hit I again, and then extrude this little face in. Now we can just bring this in using G and X. Okay, I'm also going to turn on Auto Smooth, just to make it look a little bit nicer. Okay, now we're going to add a path, and this is going to be the actual handle. So tab into edit mode, and we're going to select these 2 vertices and delete them, so we just have these 3 left. And then we're just going to hit G, and we're going to add a mirror modifier, and then we're going to turn on clipping. Okay, and then we're just going to move this first vertex into place, and we can just bring this one up, and let's bring this one in a little bit, and I'm just going to hit E and extrude out our another vertex. And you can see what clipping does. It makes it so these stick at the middle, which is exactly what we want. Okay, once you have a handle shape that is good for you, just go into geometry, and under bevel, turn up the depth to something reasonable. I'm using 0.025 or so. And for the last thing that we're going to do is just add a string. So we're just going to add a path, and then tab into edit mode, rotate it 90 degrees on the y-axis, and then we're just going to hit G, Z, and then we can use control so that this top vertex is where the origin point is. Tab into edit mode, we can just bring this up, and you can see it's kind of hard to see. So to make it easier to see, we're going to need to do this anyways. So just add a little bevel to it, and now we can see it, and just line that up like so. So you can see the point of why we put the origin at the top is now when we hit R, you can see it rotates from that point, which is what we are going to need later. Okay, so that's all we are going to do in this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we are going to work on animation. It should be a lot of fun, so stay tuned for this next tutorial, and I'll see you then.